Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Zombie Podcast. I'm your host, Brian, and welcome. Well, first of all, I would like to thank Undead Symphony for this topic for today. I never actually thought about this topic before, ever. I never thought about zombies back in like way back then. He asked me, how would people fared in the Stone Ages or medieval, like caveman, Middle Ages era? I thought to myself, that's actually a good question. How would have people fared if there were zombies in the medieval or the caveman stages? I haven't really done much research, but I did bring the question to Reddit. I asked the people on Reddit how would they have fared against zombies. I asked cavemen / Middle Ages versus zombies. Now, I put in fast zombies and Romero zombies. So this is why I said in the description. One of my friends came up with a topic that I never thought of. They asked me this: what would happen if a zombie apocalypse happened during the caveman time or in the Middle Ages? Would they survive? So this question goes out to Undead Symphony. Thank you once again, Undead Symphony, for this question. I figure out it would be a great topic to talk about. Let's go with runners and soul-walking zombies. My opinion is this: soul-walking zombies both have a great chance of survival. The cavemen would have more of a difficult chance of survival because they lack of weapons and armor. I'm not saying they can't make weapons to kill, but 99% of their attacks would be hand-to-hand combat, especially with spears. I don't believe they had any long-range weapons like bows. My opinion, the caveman is strong and agile enough to be able to defeat the zombies. Overall, I think the caveman, most of the population will be wiped out, but will continue with the population. Now, cavemen versus fast zombies, dead. All of them will die. My thought on why all the fast zombies will kill the whole entire population of cavemen. I simply thought the cavemen don't really have much protection or the means of, with armor. Only thing they have is like animal cloth, animal skin, and the fast zombies are so freaking agile. They'd be able to pounce on the zombies, not on the zombies, but on the cavemen, and just tear them apart easily. Don't get me wrong, I know cavemen are very strong and very agile themselves. I'm sure there's maybe a few of them would survive, but in the end, I think most 90% of the population or 99% of the population will be wiped out. So I think the humankind would be wiped out during that time, during the cavemen. But I could be wrong. I'm not smart. That's just my opinion. Now, medieval, Middle Ages stage era. Now, I'm thinking about medieval or Middle Ages. When I say Middle Ages, I think of medieval. Now, when I think of Middle Ages / medieval stages, they have long-range weapons, they have bows and arrows, they have catapults, and they have all sorts of weaponry. More advanced obviously, than cavemen. They have better protection, they have chainmails, they have metal armor, they have all sorts of stuff to protect them. So I feel they'll both fare and fast and slow zombies. I kind of wrote in a small paragraph, Middle Ages versus Soul Zombies. Middle Ages versus Soul Zombies, so will survive especially with their heavy armor. They also have long-range weapons. Yes, they will have losses, but not as much as middle ages versus fast zombies. I think it would be fucked, but not as bad. I think they do have a chance of survival, especially if they live in a castle. Middle ages do have reinforced doors, and not to mention moats. LOL. They have moats around the castles and stuff like that. But in the end, my opinion, the worst, as always, the worst enemy is other factions or people. Because people try to take advantage of this type of situation and just fucking go all out apeshit. Before I get to the comments, I just want to touch base on more of my opinion on this situation. So with cavemen, with soul zombies, they have like mallets, frickin', I believe like bones from like from animals and stuff like that, used as clubs and shit. Yes, they have like animal skin as armor, and I feel that the zombie teeth or the zombie bite is unable to penetrate that. That's one thing in the future episode I would like to dive into. Can regular zombie can bite through like t-shirts, jeans, or anything else for protection? But that's for a later episode. But my short opinion on this, since they be wearing like animal skin or like leather type of armor to cover themselves up, I believe that the zombie bite won't able to penetrate that. I mean, I feel that the zombie bite isn't as strong. But not to get into more detail about it, but that's just my little small opinion on that type of subject. But I feel that the cavemen would have have a chance for soul walking zombies and wiping them out. And I don't know, I kind of read ahead a little bit here. Yeah, the population isn't as high as it is today. So yes, I do realize that the population with cavemen isn't as high. But you gotta think about this, so it's like, yeah, we have more quadruple, if not times 10 or 100 of population today. So I'm thinking to myself that most of the population, and for fucking cavemen, won't be fully wiped out. I believe that the cavemen will be able to repopulate and defeat all the zombies. But when it comes to fast zombies, I think every time I think of fast zombies, I think of the remake of Dawn of the Dead. They're fucking fast, okay? They're so fucking agile that will just literally just jump over any type of barriers or any type of fucking protection the caveman would have built. They will fucking just go absolute ape shit on them. Yes, cavemen can defeat like stronger animals, but fast zombies are relentless. They don't need sleep. They don't need food, even though they do eat other people. But honestly, they are relentless. So they don't need that type of shit, man. They'll just fucking demolish the population of cavemen. So that's just my opinion. That's even though that they do have that type of armor and shit, like the leather armor, but they will hit and tear and rip on the person whoever they're attacking. In the end, I think they're just beat the fuck out of them and they won't survive. So now to back onto the Middle Ages or medieval term. Now, I know I kind of just glimpsed through it, but they have better armor, they have chainmail, so yeah, they're definitely be able to defeat all the zombies. But of course, they still have a chance of getting bit on the hand or whatnot. But I kind of want to touch base more with the fast zombie. Well, I feel that they'll indefinitely survive is because even though the fast zombie are more agile and shit, I just think that they, even though there's a zombie just like smacking them and hitting them and shit, and if a person is fully covered from head to toe in their armor, I feel another person would be able to go up to that zombie and just fucking lop their fucking heads off. Bloop, done. And go on to the next. I feel that they'll easily wipe out the zombie population. It'll take a long time, but I feel that they'll be able to take out the fucking zombie population, especially the fast ones. Now, even though nowadays, modern term, I think the population would be fucked with fast zombies with modern day, even now, because I think we're ill prepared for fast zombies if fast zombies ever do happen. But that's a subject for a different time. So I want to check out the comments here. One person said, I think the cavemen would have fared better simply because of the living situation. Most spread out less of them. During an encounter, they would have not done so well, but there would be less zombies in general. That would have to travel much more. The medieval guys, I think they would be fucked. They would all huddle like rats inside a castle wall if their zombies didn't get them. Simply disease, starvation, and or poor hygiene practices will kill them. Not to mention the actual rats carrying the said disease. And a single infection person would not wipe them out from inside out with no escape. Not all of them would have armor or great weapons. Most of them were just regular people with improvised weapons. I'm going simplicity for the win. Now, I have, I guess, haven't thought about the Z's faction into that. But yeah, I still think medieval would have a fair chance, including with the diseases and sickness and shit like that. Just the fact of they have, I mean, I get it. There's people that don't have armor and shit like that. But I think that they'll easily just destroy them in the end. But, hey, I like having those debates about this. So this person goes with cavemen have fare a lot better. Another person says, cavemen would do well because there's not enough people to become infected, and they're pretty spread out. Nomadic people could easily live anywhere that has more than a few zombies. For medieval era, static anti-zombie defenses would not be most effective, but mobile warfare would be good. Even fast zombies can't punch up horses, so horse archers can freely take Parthian shots at zombie hordes without fear of being counterattacked. Lancers would also be effective in places that aren't too densely populated. Awesome. This is why I like coming to you people, because you guys have more insights and more knowledge than I would have. There's some things that I don't even think about that you guys would. So you guys are fucking amazing. I have to agree, the next commenter says, I have to agree with the other commenter, caveman zombies would, when due to how isolated they are, in theory, would be, encounters would be few and far between. They have clubs, or they're frozen with. Yes, the Middle Ages have plate armor and longer, better weapons, but the armor only gets you so far. Yeah, you won't lose a bit, but you won't get bit, but it doesn't stop you from being crushed from weight alone. And they would just hide like rats and pack themselves like sardines. So if one person gets bit or bled on the scene from 28 weeks later, game over. I'm voting for caveman. Nice. Next person says, caveman, so basically the sharpened stick portion of the sub? Unga bunga gun make noise, attract zombies, sharpened stick, unga bunga, zombie. To be fair, some of them tied rocks and sticks. Unga bunga war mace, unga bunga. So I'm guessing they'll go with caveman. So 3-1. Another person says there would be few zombies and the cave dwellers would be fine. Also, anyone showing up that wasn't part of the tribe will be wiped out on sight. See, like I'm saying, people are the worst enemies to themselves. So, next person says, when you say medieval, Middle Ages, remember, the Mongols were a medieval age army. Horses, archers against runners or soul zombies, not a chance for the zombies. Now the next person says, the last comment, I would think cavemen still better chance, sparse population, heightened fight or flight responses due to less civilized lifestyle in a world of animal predators already. Easily better bushcraft skills than middle-aged folks. Some more capable of cutting and running from risk with just what they can carry on them. So, ladies and gentlemen, the votes are in. Cavemen would have fare better against a zombie apocalypse. Now, I would love to see, well, actually hear, what do you guys think? You can send me a message on zombapocalypse1@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on Instagram on zombapocalypse1 on Instagram. You can find me on Linktree down below and tell me what you guys think. Who would fare better, cavemen or Middle Ages? I think both of them have very fair chances of surviving, but I still stand my chance. I think the Middle Ages still have a fair chance of surviving better. But with everything that has been said in the comments, I'm ending this episode today. I will love to thank every single person out there who commented. And thank you, every single one of you who has listened to this podcast. Rate me 5 stars or not. I'm not your dad. Rate me 5 stars if you like. Follow this podcast. Follow me on Linktree. You can see all my links for everywhere I'm at. Or just send me a message. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think I should do for the next episode. And I'll give you my opinion. So once again, thank you so much to Undead Symphony for giving me this question that I haven't thought about for a good zombie topic. So make sure you look up Undead Symphony on all of your podcasts. I will link where he is on the show notes below. So make sure you follow him today. And I want to thank every single person who has followed the show and who has listened today. So thank you so much for listening. My name is Brian once again. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, afternoon, or wherever you're at. Be safe, be kind, and stay alive out there. See you guys.